All right, guys, you should have your 11-5 day 2 worksheet out from yesterday that I assigned to you. And you are going to try, there are 2 number 13s. I want you to try both of them, and then you can watch the solutions. All right, so here's the first number 13 that I would like you to try. All right, so your goal is you want to get this to be a perfect square so we can solve it a little bit easier. So there's 2 ways I showed you to do it. I'm just going to do it both ways on each different problem. So the first way, if you want to, just move this 21 over to the other side right away. Might make it easier, especially on one with a decimal. So I'm just going to say, okay, I have this now. Again, my goal is to make this a perfect square. So I'm going to come to the middle term and I'm going to say, okay, I want half of 3. So if I split 3 in half, that's 1.5, and then I need to square it. That's 2.25. So I'm going to add 2.25 to that side and to this side. So I get x squared plus 3x plus 2.25 equals 3.25. Okay, now, good news, this is a perfect square. So if I factor this, it's going to be x plus 1.5. And I know that this number is always just going to be whatever half of that was. Okay, and then I square it equals 3.25. All right, now we know how to solve this. I'm going to grab a different color. I'm going to square root this side, square root this side. I get x plus 1.5 is approximately, the square root of 3.25 is about 1.8. Okay, so I'm going to write plus or minus 1.8. And then lastly, I'm going to subtract 1.5. Subtract 1.5. So I get x is approximately, I'm going to do positive 1.8, take away 1.5, which gives me this wrong on my answer case, 0.3. And then my other answer, if I do negative 1.8 minus 1.5, still had this wrong. I had both of these wrong on my answer key. It is negative 3.3. Actually, I had that one right. All right, so there are your 2 solutions. All right, our second number 13, if you guys go to that one, I'm going to try to complete the square again. So this time I'll just keep the 9 over here, but I want this to be a perfect square. So I'm going to think to myself, okay, I need half of negative 14, which is negative 7. Negative squared is 49. Right now it's a 9. I want it to be a 49. So I'm going to add 40 to both sides. Okay, I end up with x squared minus 14x plus 49. Now that's a perfect square equals 25. Oh, this is going to be a nice one. Okay, so now this is a perfect square if you factor it. Now, if you can't figure out the shortcut, just do it the long way. X and x, it's going to be 7 and 7. It's got to be minus and minus. It's got to be the same thing for it to be a perfect square. So I've got x minus 7 squared equals 25. Okay, my next step is I'm going to square root it. I get x minus 7 equals plus or minus 5. I'll add 7 to both sides. So my answers are, if I do 5 plus 7, that's 12. And if I do negative 5 plus 7, that is 2. So those are my 2 solutions. Now, if you wanted to test it, you guys know you could come plug it in. I could be like, okay, 2 squared minus 14 times 2 plus 9, does that equal negative 15? It will. Okay, I know it will. So you can do a check to make sure on a test, but those are your 2 solutions. So that's completing the square. Now today, you guys are going to learn another method to solve quadratic equations that we kind of already touched on this year, but we're going to just go over it a little bit more.